Jordan, is someone in your seat?
Pat Henningsen often works with older children, using a behavior modification program more suitable to their age, the 4-step plan.
Is it always that easy?
No.
Michael, is it always that easy?
I don't walk into a classroom without my 4-step plan, my turtle control, and a behavior modification system. When I go into the classroom, I state the rules. You have got to have rules, because you need a foundation. I expect you to sit. I expect you to listen. And when I walk in with my plan, I do an overview of how to listen, how to be a student. We sit, we listen, we keep the eyes on the person who is talking. I do a whole introduction on what I expect. Then I bring in the plan. The plan consists of, first step is what am I supposed to do? Second step is what is my plan? Third step is how is my plan working? Fourth step is how did I do? And then I present the first step.
What am I supposed to do?
Okay, you're coming in for a lesson in reading with a poem. It's the very first thing you should do.
You walk into the room, children, what am I supposed to do?
What went wrong with your plan?
I'm here to teach, we're going to listen.
That's right. So when you come into the classroom, you're getting ready for reading. What's the first thing you need to do, Michael?
I expect you to sit, I expect you to listen.
Okay, how do you sit? Well, you don't always have to fold your hands, but how should you sit? Okay, put your feet in, push your chair in. And you're listening, and you're getting ready for reading.
Next step.
What are some plans? Okay, you're coming in for reading. We're going to do a poem. What are some plans? First, the most important thing you need to do is what? Follow
Follow the directions.
not only the directions, but follow the, Dan?
At that point, the children will start to respond.
What do we call it? Benjamin, wonderful hand raise.
We remember to raise our hand. We have to follow the rules.
The rules. There they are. What's the second thing you need to do? You need to
Listen.
listen. Thank you, Jose. But when you raise your hand, I want a quiet, high hand raise. And you listen. The third thing you do is put your eyes where, Akeem?
On the person who's talking.
That's right. If I'm talking here, where do your eyes go?
On you.
Okay. If I'm
And then
over
the
here,
third step is how is my plan working?
Okay. At this point, whose plan's working? Mm-hmm. Very nice. How come, Jose? Think hard. Why is your plan working right now?
At that point, if I do see a child having a difficult time, I will sort of stop and present the problem, not directly at the student, but to the class, and I will say, okay, something's wrong here. What's happening? And the children will discuss it. It goes back and forth, but what I'm doing during step 2 and step 3 is I'm really encouraging the children to problem solve, to think things out, to weigh it out, in hopes that they'll eventually, use this throughout their lives.
Michael, how come your plan's working?
And the fourth step is how did I do? And at that point, I stop and I say to the class, okay, whose plan worked? What do you think made the plan work? If someone's didn't, did they fix it? What did they do to fix it? And again, I'm just reinforcing. I'm encouraging and I'm reinforcing. And it's great.
Once the student's attention is focused on the work, the challenge is maintaining that through the lesson. One method for doing that is to utilize a more lively and imaginative style of teaching.
All her pencils.
Don't need me, do you, Dan?
As far as presentation of the material for the day, we worked a lot of new techniques into the curriculum. Instead of just basically hear your vocabulary words, we tried to do some cooperative lessons, some peer tutoring. We do a nice, exciting oral presentation using poems, using fun readings, having the children clap as they track, looking for vocabulary words. We'll try any tricks of the trade to get them to stay focused.
One more time.
Song of the train.
Michael, since you're having some troubles today, keeping your eyes on me, I want you to use the pointer. And I want you to point as we say the poem. Okay? And I want you to really concentrate.
If we start to see a child going off, I will say, Michael, why don't you come up, take the pointer, and you point for me, just to snap them back in. If they did have a hard morning, I will put time aside and try to focus the child.
Song of the train.
Sometimes it makes a difference, sometimes it doesn't. But again, we keep the structure, It's predictable. They know how far it can go. They know their incentives. With cueing, with coaching, you can try to keep the child focused. You really can.
I need the old Michael with me. I don't have him today. Where is he?
Right here.
He's here. I got the smile, but I think I need some concentration. Okay? Ready? I'm going to be watching. I think this boy can deserve a double. If you see his eyes on me, I think a double token might be in store. Nice point in there, Mike.
Another technique that has proven to be effective in managing ADHD behaviors is a token economy. Plastic poker chips are awarded to any child who displays appropriate behavior and avoids disruptive ones.
105.
110 and 115. Wow, 115.
The students accumulate these during the day and cash them in at the end of the day in return for snacks, special privileges, or inexpensive rewards.
Super job.
Again, what makes this technique work with ADHD children is that it is consistent, frequent, positive, and results in a reward.
Jennifer, that was not the direction I gave you. Kevin, that's blue. You need to take a time out.
Mild punishments are as important as rewards.
Throwing the bears is a destruction.
Timeouts for unacceptable behaviors are effective for several reasons. They remove the child from the situation, allow his emotions to subside, and it provides an opportunity to reflect on what has taken place. Another technique that allows ADHD children to reflect on, rather than react to, a given situation is called turtle control.
When do you find that you have to use your turtle control the most? Ben.
When you're like being like very noisy and you try to like use your turtle control.
I think everyone needs turtle control. You stop. You think of why a turtle goes in their shell. They go in the shell because they need to relax and because they're afraid something's not quite right. And once the children get the message of what the turtle does and everything, we sit back and we all take a deep breath. And I do a little relaxation therapy type thing. And then I say, okay, put a pleasant thought in your head and let's think of a solution to the problem.
Stay in your shell. I want you to tell me your pleasant thought that helps you to relax. Can you relax your nose? Relax your mouth? Relax your shoulders?
What I do is I encourage them to use it during recess, from transition from activity to activity, during class time, joining social situations. I don't just limit it to a problem time. I just want the kids to really basically use it to help themselves control some of the impulsivity that they have, to tune into themselves. And I think that's where my focus is with any of these children, is to just get them to really tune in, to stop, to think, and because they don't have it naturally. It'd be much easier if you could say, yeah, put your brakes on, no big deal, but it isn't,
As you have seen and heard, there are several approaches to behavior management that can be effectively employed in virtually any classroom. While there are similarities and differences among them, they are all rooted in the same basic principles. There are 10 core principles that are important in the management of ADHD children in the classroom. The first of these is the immediacy of the consequences used by the teacher in managing ADHD behavior. ADHD children need consequences and feedback far more quickly than other children do if they are to help maintain control over their behavior. The frequency of consequences is also important. Children with ADHD need to have more feedback, more often, and more consequences for helping them to manage their behavior than do other children of the same age. Equally as important is the saliency of the consequences used by the teacher. This means that teachers need to use much more powerful forms of rewards and punishments than would be needed to manage the behavior of an otherwise normal student in the classroom. It is important that teachers should remember to act and not yak. This means that teachers should not look at ADHD as a problem of reasoning to be handled by talking to the child about their behavior. Teachers should act with consequences quickly, immediately, and more frequently than they do with other students. Keep in mind that positive programs need to be put into place before punishment programs or negative consequences. This means that a teacher should use reward programs for at least 1 to 2 weeks to change a child's behavior before instituting a punishment program aimed at the inappropriate behavior. Teachers need to anticipate potential problem situations and to have a plan in mind to manage disruptive behavior should it occur. ADHD children have significant problems when situations change in the classroom, say between academic subjects or between an academic subject and going to lunch. It is helpful at this time for the teacher to review a series of rules with the child and to set up a reward and a punishment program with the child before moving into the transition period. You must also maintain a sense of priorities during your behavior modification program. This means that you cannot work on all of the problems that an ADHD child may be having in the classroom at one time. Instead, you need to focus your efforts on one or a few important behaviors and work only on these for a while. As these improve, you can extend your behavior management program to other problem behaviors as well. It is helpful to keep a disability perspective about children with ADHD. It is very important that teachers remind themselves that these children are not intentionally misbehaving. Instead, the children are having difficulties with controlling their own behavior. So keep a disability perspective. It is important for you to remember not to personalize the problems of the ADHD student. ADHD is a disability that leads to highly variable behavior. Consequently, you must be sure not to blame yourself for the problems these children are having in your classroom. Finally, teachers need to practice forgiveness with their ADHD students. This means that you must forgive the child for the frequent disruptive behaviors they are going to show in your classroom each day. And you will need to forgive yourself as well for the mistakes you are likely to make as you go about attempting to institute these behavior change programs. Following these behavior management principles can result in a smoothly operating classroom for ADHD children and can significantly contribute to their academic success. Each of the teachers you have seen has benefited from specialized training in behavior modification techniques specifically for children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Unfortunately, the vast majority of teachers in this country have not had such training.
It's unfortunate because then when they get some of these children who don't behave like regular children, they don't know what to do with them. They don't have any tools. There's no bag of tricks that anybody's handed them.
Most teachers, I think, they're so used to constantly reprimanding almost too much that that's all the child hears, and it gets discouraging for them. So in this type of classroom, whether it's a child that acts up with me or not, they're still hearing lots of positive.
The time that you put into setting up a behavior management system and keeping it consistent is worth every ounce of effort and energy you put into it at the end of the year. You find yourself using so much less negative attention and so much more positive, and it doesn't have to be as you don't leave the school feeling exhausted every day. You feel like you accomplished something, that you've taught everything that you set out to teach, and you feel really good about it. And not only that, the kids feel good.
They're not the traditional type child, that they are capable of learning, but we've got to come up with a way of helping them to learn so that they can learn about themselves as well as learn the assignment.
As more and more children with ADHD are identified, and more of them are enrolled in mainstream classes, the responsibility for educators to meet the specialized needs of these children will grow as well. But it is the individual teacher who will spend the majority of time with these children during the early years. Your understanding of ADHD and the consistent application of the principles of educational management can have a significant impact on the success of these children in their academic careers.
In addition to the program you have just viewed, Guilford is pleased to offer 3 other videos on ADHD with Dr. Russell Barkley. Whether you are a health professional, a parent, or a teacher, these acclaimed programs constitute an invaluable video library. In ADHD, What Do We Know? Dr. Barkley discusses the nature of ADHD and the impact of the disorder on children and their families. Several children with ADHD are shown exhibiting associated behaviors in a variety of settings. Parents talk about their experiences, and educational experts discuss what can be expected of these children in the future. In ADHD, What Can We Do? Dr. Barkley introduces a variety of effective techniques for managing ADHD in the home, in the classroom, and on family excursions. Current uses of medication are also discussed, and behavior modification strategies to reinforce positive behavior and discourage inappropriate behaviors are depicted. In ADHD in adults, Dr. Barkley introduces 3 individuals with the disorder: a working mother, a practicing attorney, and a fireman whose son was recently diagnosed with ADHD. They discuss the impact of ADHD on their past and present lives. In addition, methods for diagnosing ADHD in adults are demonstrated. Other ADHD resources from Dr. Barkley are also available from Guilford Publications. Taking Charge of ADHD, the complete authoritative guide for parents, offers the latest information on ADHD, as well as practical day-to-day strategies that parents can employ to help their children and themselves cope with the challenges presented by ADHD. To keep you up to date on a continuing basis, the newsletter ADHD Report provides commentary on current research, news analysis, treatment strategies, and literature reviews 6 times a year. For further information or to place an order, please call this toll-free number. A Guilford customer service representative will be happy to assist you.